Well, hello guys. We're going to talk about what is a neural network, its application, and how does it works nowadays. Well, let's get started. First of all, we're going to talk about what is a neural network. Well, and it is an artificial neural network, such as known as RNA, are models of artificial intelligence that draw on the behavior of their neurons and brain connections to solve problems. That is similar that we have ours, the humans. They draw inspiration from the nervous system and the biological behavior, creating layered incorporation system of artificial neurons that can collaborate to process input data and generate outputs. And maybe you are thinking, well, and how does it work? How does it work? We will answer that that is a part that we have all the humans, and it's similar of the thing that how can we learn something. For example, it recognizes patterns as it has learning by the machine learning, such as humans, of course. And for example, in the first layer, the input layer information is received from the outside, that is the data, and the RNA will try to process. The information then goes through several more hidden on which transform the input into something the output unit can use, or something that it recognizes. Is, for example, if we want to teach a kid how does a lion looks, we're going to give the kid maybe one image or two images to the kid, because it will recognize that the image is a lion, and because he is going to learn some patterns that can see in the photo. So that's a thing that we can learn, and that's how the human being learn. Well, and maybe as a computational modern, the RNA use graphs and functions made up to process elements. For example, they process inputs and generate outputs that help solve problems. In some models, local memory is used in the mold or process element. The neural network nodes and connections are organized in layers. The ability to learn automatically. This process is also known as machine learning. And some of the general applications of the artificial neural networks are the identificational system of decision making, maybe in a business management, predictions, recognition of trends, pattern recognitions, and risk management applied to, for example, in fraud detections that it is used nowadays in some banks. For example, in Europe, they use artificial intelligence to detect frauds. Well, and in this part it's also recognized that modern technologies are being more successful nowadays, because we have developed a technology that we haven't had before, and it is important to the human to evolve every day and use the technologies for a good reason. One of the good reasons can be the economy, maybe because in the past we didn't have these kind of tools, and nowadays it's more easier to have maybe a robot that can run a business for you, that instead of you being spending hours in that business, if I mean. So if we're going to develop maybe many years before, we're going to tend in this kind of steps first. And maybe it can be, I don't know, reaching clients by manually sending email message is a process that can be inefficient. For example, Microsoft used BrainMaker's neural network software to determine which customers are most likely to become buyers after receiving emails from e-marketing campaigns. And also Facebook has his own e-marketing, his own business part, that you can use a robot to attend the emails that you send to your clients. And for example, it can predict the future value of bonds on the investment instrument. Is a specialized task and is one of the most expensive things nowadays in the A, because imagine if we can make an A that can research information of the stock market, maybe we will be rich. All of us we will be rich. And for example, the some countries has to their own business project that it helps by the artificial intelligence and the robotic area, because it is more cheaper and it do better job than humans. So maybe it is true that maybe in 20 years the 70% of the enterprises in the world we will have robots instead of humans. So it's kind of interesting and maybe a little bit weird. And many people are thinking that if it's a good idea to have an artificial intelligence doing our jobs, and I think that it's like a knife. Maybe you can use a knife to kill one person, or you can use a knife to cut bread, and that's the same with this. I think that it's good because that's why we invent the technology to make our lives more easier. But in the other hand, imagine that if we develop a more advanced machine learning, that maybe it will increase the human knowledge, maybe that will be a problem, such as the movies that we see. But in my personal opinion, I think that it's good to have artificial intelligence doing our jobs, but it's a good idea and it's essential you to learn how to use the new technology that we have, because we can do better things and we can do things more easier than in the past. We are evolving every day, so we have to be in movement every day. The companies are evolving, the industries will evolving, and nowadays, for example, the the enterprise Hyundai doesn't have humans working with them. Well, not as much as they have in the past, because they had just robots. Well, in more areas such as ensembles or paintings, they have robots. Why they have robots? Because a robot is more efficient than a human, and it's more cheaper, and you don't have to pay month by month. So I think that maybe some people think that we are playing to be God, but I think that we can do better things and we can do useful things if we can approach this technology.